I have a small fire going on.
All right, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. If
Hello,
any,
everybody.
yeah, whenever
Hi.
somebody joins us this fabulous live, let's comment and
Fab
let us know
Five.
you're
I like
here.
that.
We have three people on. There's Joe. Joe, thank you so much. Joe, that was an interesting live you just had. I loved Heather using the dowsing rods. It was fun. I don't know if Steven's back on here yet or not. He was on here earlier. But we do have three people on. So if you are on,
Mm.
please comment and let us know you're here. There's Sandra. Hi, Sandra. So, what we're doing here tonight, ladies, is, and men and gentlemen, is we are bringing five of us together right now. I got a very clear message that we needed to start holding the space for inspiration for people. We needed to start having a secure, safe space that people can come and chat. I've been told many times in my lives that people do feel secure here, they do feel safe, it's drama free, etc. So I definitely felt the need. I know I haven't done a lot of lives lately on Get Spooky for the purpose of card readings and stuff like that. And we may do some card readings. Hey, Kieran. We may do some card readings, but it's going to be more informal about just chatting. So, we're just going to talk about different topics that come, hey, Nicole, that come up. So, I just kind of wanted to go through and, hey, Mary, and just let I was thinking for those of the people on that don't know us, I'm Stephanie from Gut Spooky Society. You probably know me because you're on my channel. And I am an empath and I'm starting to get medium abilities, I feel like. So I do readings, I do a lot of things. I do paranormal investigating, animal communication, etc. And I'm from Indiana in case people don't know. So I thought, let's, Kitty, you introduce yourself and where you are and what you do.
I'm Kitty. I am co owner of Intuition of the Soul, which is a platform where we have people come and speak, and we do a vibe of the week, and it's a place to explore what you're interested in, kind of an educational center. I'm also co-owner with and I'm co-owner with Amy, and a co-owner of a group called Optimize Your Energy, where we're teaching people how to use the energy in their astrological charts to help manifest what they want and learn more about their life. And I'm a storytelling astrologer
That's right. And you're currently in Maine, but you split your time between Maine and Florida.
in Maine and Florida.
Yeah. All right, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Rogers. I was born a psychic medium in 2015. I had a near death out of body experience. And at that time, when I came back to my body, after a very beautiful experience, my abilities that I was born with, they were wide open and it was very scary because I didn't know how to control them for a very long time. And so that's something I had to learn on my own because I didn't have a mentor at that time. Um, and since that time, I have developed other abilities, which I believe we all are born with these awesome abilities, and we just have to tap into them.
Mm-hmm.
I do past life readings. I do current near future readings as well. But I love doing those past life readings, finding out what karmic energies have been brought into this lifetime. Because as for myself, I know most of my life I've been in fear of fire. And I didn't know why. I'd never been through a house fire or anything like that in this lifetime. And then it was later revealed to me that I was actually burned at the stake, being accused as a witch, which I wasn't. I had these abilities in a previous lifetime, so that's where my fear, that karmic, had came into this life. So I had to learn how to begin working on getting rid of that fear And then that opened up new areas for me to be able to help others. What things are they going through in this lifetime, and going back and going in other dimensions and figuring out, hey, what's going on here? So,
Right. Excellent. I just want to say hi to Heather and Sean. And Heather, you did a great job with the rods tonight. We were just talking about it. Okay, Shan, tell us about you and what you're up to.
Hi, I'm Shan. I live in California. I'm an empath and a sensitive, and I'm an intuitive life coach.
Yeah. And Shan's getting her business up and running, so soon she'll be able to coach all of us, hopefully. And by the way, Michelle is she lives in Kentucky. All right, Amy.
All right, I'm Amy J, and I live in Michigan, right in the middle of the mitten, as we call it. And I am a medium, and I also just started a YouTube channel called The Intentional Intuitive. And I pull daily cards most of the time and just talk about things that are going on with spirit. And I do mediumship readings, and I like to do cards, and I'm the other part of the IOTS up there with my dear, beautiful friend, Kitty Foss.
Awesome. Hey, Kim from our paranormal world. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I have to figure out Nightbot and all that stuff, but I want to put everybody's channel links in the description for everybody. And then also I think you can pin a comment at the top with all of that. But Michelle is the paranormal experiencer in Cosmos and Spread. Kitty also has Intuition of the Soul, and Amy has the Intentional Intuitive, and Shan's going to work on one for herself. So, yeah.
The pressure's on now, Shane. You can't get out of here and announce to the world.
But I have met these lovely ladies, and I've had the pleasure of working with all of them, and I've had the pleasure of getting readings and etc. from all of them. And it has been an amazing experience having my awakening as a light worker. And we've been talking about different things. And I just got this today that we needed to hold this space. Everybody needs this inspirational space that they can come and chat about different things. And we have such great discussions whenever we're in one of our classes, or Intuition of the Soul does a spirit communication on Facebook through Zoom on Tuesday nights, and we have great conversations there, and in Optimize, etc. So we really thought it would be interesting to, come and talk to you all, see what you might want to talk about as well. Maybe somebody wants to jump up on screen and tell one of their experiences, but we all learn from others and from our own experiences. So just wanted to start this and see what happens, see if people like it, and go from there.
I just want to say thanks, Stephanie, for starting this, because I really feel like that we are all light workers, and right now we are all being called, to go into the new world, that new energy, and be able to inspire other people to go, to go along with us. And so hopefully this will either create some inspiration, some hope, some curiosity for people out there that are watching us, that we can help you with.
And honestly, the fact that 5 of us showed up within 8 hours of notice is pretty amazing synchronicity anyway. So there's obviously some support for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Kieran, if you're talking about palm reading, I do not. I don't know if any of us on here do palm reading. No, but
it sounds really cool though, but it's a big learning curve. I'm just too old for another learning curve.
But we all have had, we all have different abilities and different, we all have kind of the same abilities, but we use them in different ways, and we have different things that we do. So the other night we were talking about, angel encounters, like actual live angels on earth, and encounters that we've had with them. And that kind of sparked this as well. We were just, we all are walking around among angels that you may think is just a regular person, and they're really not. So it's been amazing to be able to go back and look at that. And, if we talk about some of these things, it might help others that haven't thought in those terms realize maybe an angel that they walked with and didn't realize it at the time. Stuff like that. So, I don't know if anybody on here has any questions. I would like to just pull some energy cards just to see what the energy for the collective is right now.
Yeah, going back to that, Stephanie, you never know when you're in the presence of an angel.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. So if you're a good, kind person, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter, but you just never know.
Right.
And even as you become more aware, you realize how many times in your life you were around angels.
Yeah,
right. Right. Yeah, it's mind blowing, and just the messages.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Thanks, John. That's nice.
Oh, thanks, Sean. When you're more aware of the messages, I know just in the week that Amy's been doing her daily readings, or week and a half, some of the tips that she's given has been really eye-opening, just reminding me of different things. Like, I loved your analogy about treating spirit messages like robocalls, like spam calls. So why don't you
Telemarketer.
tell us a little bit about that analogy, Amy.
Well, it just dawned on me, and I don't know how, but sometimes when we get spirit messages, we might even see numbers or feathers or whatever your sign might be. We kind of go, oh yeah, I got a message from spirit. But that's all we do. We kind of look at it. So the analogy of treating it like a telemarketer was, you look at it, you noticed it, but that's where it stopped. You didn't ask, what is the message? Why is this coming to me? What was I thinking at the time? What was I doing? And so why were they sending me this message? So yeah, it was like that. So instead of just noticing it and then just like the telemarketer, okay, and put it away, interact, and that was the point, to interact, to feel into what was that message? What was I thinking or doing at the time? Or, sometimes it's a confirmation of something you're thinking, or it might be a nudge to get out of your head. That's not what you're supposed to be thinking about. You need to change that vibration. So, yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is Amy's been getting messages for me this week, which is interesting in itself. And so she sent me a note this morning and said that I was going to be getting a message on what my next step was. And I'd already made the decision. I'd already gotten that message this morning, probably at the same time that she was getting it in our meditation, that this is what I needed to do. So that was pretty cool to me, that I was aware, I was paying attention. Thank you, Stephen. Karen, do you mean what your actual birth sign is? Tell us what your birth date is. Okay, so I got 3 cards, and I love this because the first one is Angel of Love. It's a 49, which is then a 13 or a 4. So Angel of Love. And the message I'm getting loud and clear here is a 4 would be home and family. And I feel like we are a family right now, providing a home for everybody to come to with love. So I absolutely am blown away that that's the first card that jumped out.
The perfect first card.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We need to know, Kieran, what your actual birth, like day and month that you were born, so we can tell you what your sign is. And then the next card that came out is First Chakra Archangel Michael, and it's a 35 or an 8. So, that is rooting yourself, grounding yourself. Again, hopefully this inspiration, these talks can help people ground. And 8 would be transformation and change. So putting forward those those small steps for transformation and change in a grounding way. And Amy is really into the archangels. So, Amy, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, Archangel Michael, that's my main guide. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad Lucy is tonight. That's my main guide. I feel like I always feel like he has the ear of God. So it's just really nice, to have him around. But yeah, I am agreeing what you're saying. He's the throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
He's associated with the throat chakra, the color blue. Yeah,
Hi, Terry.
healing.
Yeah, and I'm
He's a
feeling
healer.
I'm feeling like because we're in this Taurus, we've been in this Taurus energy a lot. It's all about being stable and secure and grounding. So that's another reminder of that. And we're getting ready to go into the new moon at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday morning. So that's Sandra's favorite too. All right, so the last one I got could not be better. Goddess of the Moon.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Goddess of the Moon. And look at that, a 52, which is a 7. 7 is all about partnerships and relationships in our tribe. And when you have a strong relationships and partnerships, then you can have the moon and everything that goes with it, right? So yeah,
Let's
that's what
just
we're
add
doing.
an S to that. Goddesses.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Awesome. Well, those were some good cards, guys.
Yeah.
That's good energy. That means we're putting out some good energy tonight.
Absolutely.
Stephanie, would you recap them real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. So the first one was Angel of Love. And when you break that 49 down to a 4, it's all about the safe space that we're creating for you with a new family to come to. So then the next one was Archangel Michael in the first chakra, which is grounding you, your root chakra. And that's an 8, which is about making transformation and changes that are grounding for you and secure and safe. And then this Goddess of the Moon, which is a 7, 52 or a 7, which is all about great relationships and partnerships. So having, the moon, having the moon and the stars, you've heard that, right? Well, you can with the right tribe.
And also to add with your 8, remember 8 is transformation. So that's what we're all working on together,
Right.
coming through. And Kieran, August 26th would be Virgo.
Oh. Yeah, you're a Virgo, Kieran.
Which is a earth
They say
sign.
that like it's not a good thing. Uh-oh. You're in Virgo. No, I'm just
Most misunderstood sign of the zodiac.
Oh my gosh. So Sandra is also the 26th of August.
But
Wow.
69.
Yeah, but wow, that's pretty cool. What
9
are
years
the
apart.
chances? What are the chances?
That
That
is.
is awesome. So Terry, I will. We're going to continue the conversation a little bit, but I'm going to put the cards to the side, and then maybe we will pull some cards when we get finished with our conversation. So what else do you guys want to talk about?
Crickets.
There's something actually.
Okay, Michelle.
So when you had pulled the Archangel Michael card, I was also feeling, because I know I have been going through this as well myself recently, where a lot of us, our frequencies are beginning to rise. And as we do so, I know that myself included, there have been a lot of people that I have spoken to recently that are basically losing some people that are not in the same frequency as them. And it's very hurtful. It can be conflicts arise, or different ways that these people are being removed from our lives. in order to bring in more positive people that match our frequencies. And the thing about the Archangel Michael, he's a fighter, he's strength. And that also, made me feel like, that's giving us the strength to carry on, to be able to find our tribe, those that match our frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Michelle, that's such a good point because the whole society and humanity right now is like, here or here kind of thing. And so it really is hard when you're trying to live a really spiritual life and, with all of, the higher vibration and the goodness in that. And people don't maybe understand or misunderstand some of the things that we do, and especially people that are really close to us. And that's a really hard thing to deal with. Family member don't look at you, or maybe they don't even know that much because you've decided not to involve them because you already know what the reaction to that would be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, and I see what Terry wrote about heighten our vibration, and that was kind of Stephanie's vision tonight. Is sometimes what we do is we just hold the space until others can catch up, if that's possible.
Yeah.
And just invite them to come. And it's not about preaching at them. What I love about Archangel Michael is he's the one you call when you want protection. He's the one you command in and to stand and protect you. And that helps you hold the space so other people can find their way. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you have to take a big step back from them.
Mm-hmm. And Kitty, you just posted on Intuition of the Soul something about that NASA put out, and that kind of corresponds with what Terry's saying. Can you expand?
Sure. Actually, Jeanette Byro, who's another medium that IOTS works with, and actually Amy and I are both in her class, had done a circle, and they were talking about vibration and how it's messing things up and people aren't quite understanding it, just what Terry was saying. And actually, I'm going to open it up. What NASA put out in a tweet, just kind of, it was pretty funny. It said, NASA put out on a tweet, something weird is going on with our universe. NASA says independently, something weird is changing, like they're picking up a whole shift. And we know that the Schumann vibration out there is off the charts and doing some interesting things. But when NASA actually puts out that, there's a weird vibration,
And the funny thing is they only know half of it.
Right.
They don't even know, hey, call us, NASA. The other half.
Terry doesn't work for NASA.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And we're right. Hey, Kiss My Scratch. I love the name of that channel. It's awesome. We are coming towards the end of Mercury retrograde, and this new moon that is going to be in Gemini on Monday morning is wanting us to, there's a lot of energies. One of the other things for this right here is to give you a little bit of a taste of what we each do, and then also what you can learn from each of us and or taking the optimized class. And one of the things that we talk about is the everyday collective energy and how it can affect you based on your personal energies. And hey, Bud Files, and right now for this new moon, Gemini wants you to go and do all these things, and there's a lot of planets and stuff in Aries that wants you to spark all these great ideas, and then Taurus is like, wait a minute, calm down, let's ground ourselves and come back down to earth. And then
grab a snack.
Saturn's over here going, I need a vision and a plan, and Neptune's going, we got the vision. And it's like and Mercury is going backwards going, we're just gonna breathe. What the shit?
I think Mercury is just sitting back.
I don't actually think Mercury ever sets back. Ever sets back. It's always talking somewhere.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't, I'm like blown away that the five of us are actually able to get on here tonight during Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. The fact that
Without
once
some technical error.
Yeah.
without some kind of glitch.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sending out to the
tell.
universe.
tell.
Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe, for no glitches. Mercury, thanks for stepping back.
Control,
You know.
cancel, delete.
Yeah, right?
But maybe it's because we're doing what they want us to do, hold the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's, we're always going into a strange time, but we're going into a time where a whole bunch of planets are in their home energy, our personal planets. So that means for each individual, it's about our space. Meanwhile, one of the ones that's learning everything is out there talking to the cosmos, way out there. They're having their own conversation. And when they finally sit down and communicate, wonder what they're going to say after.
Oh my goodness, right?
Yeah, after spending so much time. So
Yeah, I love it.
it will be what it will be. That's for sure for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
Right.
cool about this is if any, we have these different groups, and then if somebody's like having some crazy crap happening, we get online. We're like, okay, is anybody else feeling this? And Kitty, what's going on in the stars today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then we do what always interests me is that Amy and I do a vibe of the week on IOTS. And we will get on, and both of us will have already gotten part of a message. And I would say almost 98% of the time, 99, it's absolutely the same thing.
Yeah. Just done in different ways. And that's exactly what we are. We're doing essentially the same thing, the five of us, but we all just have our own way, our own flavor, our own, way to do it. So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And if anybody on here wants to come on, if you're on Facebook and you want to get on Intuition of the Soul and join the group, and you want to learn more about connecting with spirit, they do have spirit communication on Tuesday nights, and a group, we come and we do readings with each other. So we break out into little groups, and then we also come back, and it's amazing when we all meditate as a group and the messages that we get and how they seem to all meld together.
Yeah.
Because we're all in that same space.
Or show up 2 days later, all of the messages that,
Right.
it almost always something comes afterwards. So,
Yeah.
and actually everybody here, except Shan, who will now be being asked to come on and talk about her program, have been on to talk about, what they do. And it's just a place to learn about different things. Not all of us, vibe with the same thing. And that's,
Right.
there's a place to learn about it. So
Heather, are
And that's there
you?
too.
Yeah, Heather, are you on Facebook? Do I know this already? I think she says she'd like to come. So let me know if you're on Facebook. Now she is in Australia, so she's, I forget, 12 and a half hours or 13 and a half hours or something.
we know that. We just had a guest, Ian
Ian.
Parkin from Australia.
Oh, he was Australia? Yeah.
Yeah, so we were
Thinking about
talking to-
our programs, not spirit communication, because that's something we do, we don't tape that. But any of the guest speakers and stuff that we have on, or any programs, those are always taped and you can watch it, at a time.
They're on YouTube. We have a whole
Convenient for you.
we have a whole
Oh, yeah.
playlist. But it was kind of fun because you sit there and you talk to the future. How's the
Oh, yeah,
future
we were
looking
digging
for
that.
us? Because they're 12 hours ahead of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was talking to the past.
Yeah, Heather, how's the future over there 13 and a half
that's
hours
right.
ahead? So Heather, I'll message you. We'll get you into Intuition of the Soul. And then we'll have to figure out. It's at 9:00 p.m. our time on Tuesday night, which will be sometime on Wednesday morning your time, mid-morning.
It's funny. We have people sometimes who are with us where they are at 4 a.m. And we're like, ooh. So
Yeah. Yep. So, Absolutely. So, Shan, tell us a little bit more about the life coaching stuff.
Stephanie.
Deer in the
Um,
headlights.
yes, I know. Okay, I'm not a veteran live person, so you guys
It's
will have to
okay.
give me a break here. Um, I've
Cat
been
chance.
certified as a life coach for a couple of years now, and I still haven't gotten my website and everything rolling, but I am a functioning life coach. If anybody needs anything, I really like um, coaching or guiding. I like to say I'm a life guide. I guide you to find your own answers and your own truths. So I kind of like that word better. I love helping people and guiding them if you're looking for love in your life, or if you're maybe not looking for a new love, but you're looking to um, just find love where you're at. There's so many kinds of love, right? It doesn't have to be a lover. It can be. I had a session with a gal, and she thought she wanted to meet someone and have someone in her life. And then through working together, she realized she wasn't ready for that. But she got a puppy. And that love was what sparked her to be open to more. And she was so excited about that. And sometimes you're not really sure what you need, and when it finds you, it's the best thing ever. And that's kind of like what I love working with, and showing people how to find what they need in their life. And it may not be what you think.
Right.
It might be something completely different that surprises you. And what an awesome thing when you find it.
Right.
So,
Right.
And
And I think
Shan is amazing, and she's really good at getting right down to the nitty gritty and gently holding your hand and making you see what it is you need to see. But you are, and she's so empathic that she just does it with such great, feeling, and just really wanting to help people. It comes from her heart. So,
thank you, Amy. Gosh.
sure. For sure. Yeah, and I think one of the things that you're touching on there, and one of the things that I put in the description, is that until you realize and believe that you as an individual are only responsible for yourself, your actions, and your reactions, everybody else is on them. Until you truly get that,
Yes.
it's very, very hard. And I am a Cancer moon, so I want to nurture and fix everybody and everything. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not responsible for fixing that person over there? And I'm finally getting it. And when you finally get that, I also came up with a new motto today. You can't hurt me if I don't let you. And I'm not going to let you. So,
yep.
You are on you, and I'm responsible for me. And that has helped me a lot recently.
Yeah.
So as soon as I start to feel somebody's, trying to hurt me or personally attacking me, or I'm responsible for their action or reaction, then I have to dial myself back and be like, nope, that's on them.
Yeah. Stephanie, I used to always say that you can't be walked all over if you're standing up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Good. That's really good. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we have a friend at IOTS who did a book called You Do You. And it's a wonderful thing once in a while when you find yourself getting pulled in with somebody else, or feeling like I'm not enough, I'm not. And if you could say, you know what, you do you and I'll do me. And really own that. In some 12-step programs, they talk about my own life's barely my business, let alone your life. So, and that's a really good measuring thing, because it's like, my life is barely my own business, you know, between talking to spirit and source and looking for synchronicities and trying to align myself. That's a full-time freaking job. You know, it just is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure.
And,
And I will say too that, you know, one of the biggest breakthroughs I had was meeting Michelle and having a past life reading with her. And I was brought up Catholic. So I was brought up very strict in, you know, what happens and where you go and all that stuff. And there's no past lives and coming back and picking what you're going to do and all this stuff. So being able to open and my mom went to Catholic school and she's open to all of this, which is great. So I don't have to fight my parents on this. But having a past life reading with Michelle, I didn't even ask her the questions that I had. She just intuitively got the answers and more for me. And it was breakthrough. It was absolutely breakthrough in my healing of things before I could move forward with other things.
Oh.
That would be a great topic for one of these times when we start with it. Just that whole religion, spirituality, you know, it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Right.
Right.
And I also wanted to say Michelle has done a reading for me, and she answered a lifelong issue in relationship that came around and around and around. And though the story wasn't necessarily pleasant of the past life, it did cause me great joy to go, that makes sense now why I've made this choice over the years. So there was a relief in that. Even when the stories are not what you would have hoped your past lives might have been, just being able to release it and know it is an amazing feat. And I think, Amy, that's an amazing topic because that's part of what catches us, what we were taught. This is a term Amy's taught me. I was also a cradle Catholic. You know, I was raised that way versus a convert, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, they taught me everything was my fault. So, you know, basically. And then when you really find out about Catholicism, there's a whole mysticism, a whole branch that all of us would be so much more interested in, but they didn't tell you about that one. They just didn't want you to quite go out there. But there really is about past lives and all of that, and it's in that religion. But you know, it's kind of it's those people.
All right.
You know?
The symbols in some of the churches that I've taken pictures of, and I'm like, wait, what? You know, you told me this isn't right and that I'm going to hell for this, and here it is in a Catholic church. So
yeah, right, because it's all interwoven and it's all, you know, it's pretty cool when you start going, oh, really? You know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Karen has a question about deja vu.
Yeah, and Terry said she's aware of living on another planet, so that's a good one with Michelle too, because she also, and Kieran, yeah, definitely, deja vu can definitely be, you know, one of your past lives coming back around, and you've definitely done it before.
Or you can we all live parallel lives.
I was Kitty, you're reading my mind.
And, you know, these lifetimes, as we go back and we fix things, that changes our present time too. Things, you know, I've recently had things appear, and all I could explain it as is, well, in another lifetime, or in my other universe, I remembered that, so it literally came from somewhere else. So.
Exactly. That's how I feel, Kitty, too, as well. And sometimes even in dreams or in that state, that meditation, you know, you get something and then you live it out, but you know that you remember it from somewhere. So definitely. And I think it is a lot of those
It's all blurred when you get out there.
Yeah.
Time is really our concept. So
True,
Mhm.
true.
Is that what you were
And
just saying, Michelle?
on that point, something amazing that happened to my husband and I with the timelines. My husband was just beginning in his awakening process, and we have some of those. They're like pads that you would put pots and stuff from, the stove. Sit those on to protect the counters, and we had bought two identically the same. We've had them for approximately 2 years already, and we knew what size they were. I always took really good care of them, sticking them in the washer, hanging them up to dry, you know. So one day I had washed them the same way. I do not, wash in hot water. There's no way they could have shrank. And I went to pull them out of the washer. These were half the size than they had ever been. And I said, and all of a sudden I felt this aura. And I have epilepsy, but it was not that at all. And I yelled for my husband and I said, honey, please, I need you to tell me, look at the size of these. And he said, what did you do to those? Those look half the size. We had literally switched timelines. Kid you not. That happened to us. And that was kind of a big awakening. Hey, there are parallel timelines.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Karen. There is time travel. I have not only sat with myself at a certain time and remembered that something was going on at that time, but actually have a story about from when I was a kid, and when I hit the age of when I went back to that instance, it was like, oh, this is how old I was when this happened. So yeah, I like what Terry said too. It's a shift. It's a shifting of those dimensions. So all of us can see the panel discussion. I realize not everybody out there who's watching it can see this.
Oh, okay.
They had said it's more like synchronizing. It's a shifting dimensions. Decalcifying your pineal gland. Yeah, that's not as easy. There's a lot of metal in all of our foods.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And fluoride in toothpaste is a big one.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things of actually, to me, because I've had to research it for myself because I am in the process, not quite yet, but I am working on it gradually, going as natural as I can on, beauty products. So I'm basically using what I have, that is not all natural, using that first. And in the process, I'm buying materials to make my own. But I definitely feel like fluoride is a big one. Also, it's just chemicals. Chemicals can really affect, certain foods that we eat can help actually to remove that. But yeah, I just would say research it, and see what you intuitively feel is good for you.
Right. Absolutely.
We one of fun fact I found out this week. Amy and I both heard this. This was from a woman who's been a medium for how long? 40 years now. Is that how long Jeanette said, Amy?
I don't
Something
remember.
like
I'm
that.
not
But
sure what
anyway,
you're talking
she
about.
started talking about when she first started working on mediumship, her sugar craving. And I know exactly, and you saw everybody in the group going, when you go through a thing when you start awakening with sugar. Wanting
See, I
sugar.
wouldn't know because I'm a sugar fanatic anyway. I'm a huge.
Well, I've always been, but I think but what she was saying is it was related to your intuitiveness, your sugar sweet tooth. It's something people use literally to try to ground, but that's not really what it's doing.
No.
Well, I have a wonderful excuse.
Love it. Love
That's
it. Love
right.
it. Karen
I
asked.
don't need an excuse. I need an excuse not to.
Yeah. Karen asked Terry if she believes in a second chance of life, which is interesting for anybody. And I mean,
I need more clarification. What exactly do you mean? Like to live the same life over, or what? I'm not-
Or somebody comes in and takes, there's all different levels that have a second chance.
True.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it
Terry's been drinking a lot of pineapple. I like pineapple.
Third eye.
That's right.
Pineapple.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's not get on the pineapple thing. I'm telling you, I got this great pineapple shirt, and my daughter's like, mm-mm, can't wear that no more. I'm like, what? So yeah, let's not get into that. It's one of my favorites.
Sandra said she believes in a second chance because she almost passed away 3 years ago.
Oh, is that what you mean? Like a near-death
Okay.
experience?
Like a near-death
Maybe.
experience. Well, Michelle's
And
had
then you
one.
get a chance to
Yes.
do it
Yeah.
differently?
Mine wasn't completely like I didn't actually flatline or anything, but it was just more of a huge awakening of almost dying from cancer and doing things differently. So, living my life completely differently afterwards. So, yeah, I do believe in that. We make choices, but of what we're going to learn when we come here, but sometimes we don't listen. And that was another one of your videos, Amy. Sometimes we don't listen right away to what it is that is the best for us, and then Spirit has to turn around and make us listen later. So,
Give us a course correction, I said.
yep. I had a huge course correction, for sure. For sure.
I think all of us sitting here have
Yeah. Yeah.
had
Yeah.
some kind of
Part of it.
and astrologically sometimes it has to do with what your elements are. Physical, emotional course correction, energetic course correction, all different ways that it shows up.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes they're really big things, and sometimes they're, not as dramatic. Still can be change your
The
trajectory,
right,
where you're going.
the gentleman we had on literally told us the story. He got on a boat and there was a vicar and it was very hot, and he thought to himself, wow, you really must believe. What if you're wrong about what you believe? And then instantly he had the thought, well, what if I'm wrong? Because he was kind of an agnostic, and that changed the course of his life. Well, what if I'm
Oh my gosh, yes, that is a great one. And if you are not a member of Intuition of the Soul, you really need to, do that and go back and watch that. And I think also Jeanette Biro talks about her
NDE.
her NDE, and how, and it's fascinating how she describes going there and just saying, like it was laid out, like almost like a computer board or something like that. And she's like, well, I don't want this anymore. And she like pulled it out and then put things in and pulled things out and pretty much, kind of controlled where she was going to go when she got back. I can't explain it like she does. It was fascinating though. And I'm really thinking if you're interested in that, she's definitely one to watch her program with us, because
Yeah.
it was just mind blowing.
I would say that that's the most common factor in all of the people. Michelle, who, Stephanie, who's also appeared, is that there's something that they can tell a story about the changing, their awakening, something that made them look a different way. Even those people, we had Kedrick Olson, who was kind of had parents that encouraged him and did all these amazing things, but yet he still had an instant where something, he went, aha, So it's very interesting to just collect those stories alone.
Oh yeah, everyone has their awakening story.
Yeah.
Whether they call it that or dark night of the soul or whatever term you want to use, that semantics, but you have an awakening, and everyone does to get, to this point.
And sometimes they're very physical, like with Stephanie, and dealing with death and looking at death. And sometimes, like Ian, they're literally a thought. what if I'm wrong?
Right.
And just changes the trajectory.
Well, and that's interesting that you bring that up, Kitty, because I haven't thought about this for a very long time. But I hope I don't cry, when faced with possible death at the age of 42, and I'd done a lot in my lifetime, but at that moment, I was not ready to die because I didn't feel like I did what I was here to do. Like I didn't fulfill my purpose on earth. And so now, years later that I've changed my life, I do feel like if I was faced with it again, I would be okay with it because I feel like now I have done what I was here to do. So yeah, it was hard. It was really hard because I was already struggling with the fact that I wasn't what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah.
So
That's an amazing point when you say many of the ladies here, I think almost all of us, are quote unquote on the third act of life, you know. And so, what is it when the curtain comes down? We want to say we did in this act.
I'm not done growing up.
Nope.
Hell no.
yeah.
No, I kind of just feel like I just started. Like, oh, I finally am starting to get this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sandra, if you're still
Well,
on
you
here,
know-
good night. Thank you for joining
Bye,
us.
Sandra. Good night.
Yeah,
Right.
it's interesting. It's interesting, and I always go back to a very old book, "Angels in My Hair" by why am I blanking on her name? Isn't that awful? Now I'm gonna have to look it up. That was the book that I read that made me okay with what was happening. Angels in My Hair. She's Irish.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't know if I've read that one.
I know. I
It's
haven't.
interesting, though. I might have to.
Lorna Byrne.
I'd actually be curious if everybody on this panel, can you all name a book that changed something in you forever? In your awakening?
Yeah, Lorna Byrne. She had she spoke to angels, and she never stopped. And she was literally deemed by her family as retarded because she talked to invisible people her whole life. And when they finally realized that she had a gift and that she was actually talking to angels, people would come from all over to her to be healed. And she couldn't even heal her own husband, but everybody came to her to be healed. But because we all choose our own, lessons and what we're here for, her husband died a very early death from an illness, and she couldn't heal him. So yeah, it was really, really interesting how she described what happens. And I don't really remember now, but how she described what happens after you pass. And, I was still thinking in the whole Catholic, there's black and white and all of this stuff. And it was really, really interesting. Talking to Heaven, James Van Prague.
Oh, Robin was answering if there was a book.
Yeah.
Mine would be The Four Agreements.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that was a big change to look at. That and signs, universal signs in the universe. But
Karen, you're funny.
Judy Bloom, Illusions.
Oh, nice. Karen has a joke for us. He's trying to lighten the mood. What's
Okay.
a ghost scared of in the supermarket? The spirit aisle. That's my favorite aisle.
Right?
Oh my goodness. That is hysterical.
I'm gonna have to find that book. Because
What about you, Michelle?
Michelle? Can you think of?
Well, actually, my situation was, ladies, you all know I was raised Pentecostal holiness, and it was very strict. My dad was a preacher. So that was my reading material at that time. And then once I actually, left my body and came back, I was angry. because it was like, I knew that what I had been taught all my life, it did not add up anymore. Because actually, right before I had my experience, I yelled out to God, and I said, Yahweh, because that's what I was taught, and I said, Yahweh, if I'm going to die, I want to know the truth, because the way I was brought up, it was, there's 144,000 that's going to make it. We're the only church. Everyone else is going to go to hell, point blank. And so, I was thinking all these thoughts. Okay, well, if I'm going to die, then I want to know, have I been believing the right religion? Have I been doing, all these things right? So then, boom, I left my body. And it was like, when I came back, I was like, wow, majorly beautiful experience, but coming back to this 3D body, it opened me completely up to, I was like, wait a minute. I just experienced God as love, ultimate love. That is not what I was taught all my life. Nothing. Yeah. So then I began to question everything.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and you were raised Pentecostal, but Catholics teach the same thing. This is the one and true religion, and and I remember thinking of that as a kid. I'm like, how can that be true? Really, how can that be true? They used to teach that if you didn't know Jesus, so somebody on the other side of the world who lived a certain kind of life, because I'm like, what I am grateful for is that I was born with the ability to question. I'm sure my parents were not as grateful for that as I was, but there were just things as a kid I would hear, and I'm like, that doesn't sound very loving. You know? And if we're supposed to be loving each other, how could this be?
Yeah.
And so I think it's but I still find those little thoughts creep back in. Every once in a while you'll go, it's like I'm going to point to my left brain because that's where they come from, that says, no, that can't be true. And it's like, But do you find, Michelle, now you question everything too?
Everything. It's honestly to the point that I don't watch a whole lot of news and things like that. I just don't trust it. To me, if I can't, I go to God in the Holy Divine to get my answers. I go to the universe, all the higher beings of love and truth. That's where I get my answers. That's what I trust. And I think part of that is like where I feel like I have, because I'm 50. This happened to me in 2015, so I was in my 40s, like Stephanie. So to go 40 some years of my life, and then all of a sudden, at the snap of a finger, realize that I had been lied to all of those years. And because I met the essence of God, I was enveloped in the essence of that love. And, and so now it's like, I feel like I do have trust issues from that. I feel like it almost traumatized me in a sense. So I'm constantly researching and, and using my intuition, of course. But, that's why, one thing that I always tell people, don't believe anything I tell you, because I know how it feels, to be told and taught this is the way it is and it's no other way. And then to find out differently, and I don't ever want to do anyone that way. So, I just, and I also believe that we all have our own paths, of course. And, as far as beliefs or understanding what's real and what's truth, well, we all have our own truths. We all have our own journeys that we're supposed to play out in this lifetime. So my truth may not be, the rest of of you, you ladies, it may not be your truth at all, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's the beauty of it, because we
Right.
don't have, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful to be able to feel love and know that we can be love and be free. Freedom,
Yeah.
absolute freedom.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Vegas Paranormal. Thank you for stopping by.
I like Kieran's question. If the cards told you what to do, would you do it?
That's a very good question.
I don't know if I ever think the cards tell me what to do.
True, yeah.
See,
They
and
don't
that's
really.
what I think of cards tell me is they give me energy or a way to think about something.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
though I have done that trap
Guidance.
of. You ever done that? Ask a question of cards, and then you don't quite get it, and you go like, "Can you give me a real answer?" And you keep going, and
Yeah.
no, it even gets more obtuse. Then it's
Like the magic 8 ball.
yeah,
Yeah.
It didn't give me the answer I wanted, so you shake it again.
or usually the magic 8 ball would give you it may be true. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
And you know, also on that question, see, I feel like sometimes people have a persona because of things that they see on TV. So just like when I do a reading, now, you know, I record my readings, they can be an hour to 3 hours long. However, they don't see behind the scenes. I meditate for hours prior to that, because I am aligning myself and receiving information. That's when I get the bulk of my reading information. Okay. And so then when I come in and I use the cards, that's after I come in and say, okay, I received this information and interpret it. So the cards are just kind of like a tool or a crutch, you know, just like someone who smokes, right? That's a tool to crutch, just like using crystals. We honestly, we are all so powerful that we don't even need these things, but they're
Yeah.
tools
Yeah.
that we use to make us feel more empowered until
Yes.
we can get, you know, get our encouragement strengthened. And then at that point, oh, you know what? I don't need those crystals anymore. Hey, I don't need the cards anymore. Okay. But I mean, that's just my viewpoint on it. It's just kind of a thing of an extra confirmation, bringing information through of what already was given.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And I'm a
agree.
big feeler, so if it doesn't feel right, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
You know? So, and we all have free will to decide that. So,
Right.
Yes.
you know,
Right.
if I don't know about everybody, but that's my superpower. I feel everything. So if
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a message is aligned for me, then it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And I would say too that along the lines with Michelle, I agree. I never thought that I could actually channel. So I always felt like I had to use cards because how else am I going to get the information? But lately I've been, good night, Karen.
Good night.
Lately I've been at my investigations. I was editing one the other night and I was watching myself because I'm going into a trance these days. I don't even really remember what happened truly at the investigation until I really watch it back. And I was watching myself doing the dowsing rods and I kept watching myself look up. And when I was looking up, that's when I was getting the message of the next question to ask. And I already knew what the answer was because I was given the message, what is the question and what is the answer? So I already knew. So a lot of times, you know, you constantly get naysayers, oh, you're moving the rods or you're moving the pendulum. My energy is moving the rods and the pendulum, and I already know what the answer is because I already got the answer through the spirits. So, yeah, you're right. You're right. I am moving the rods and I am moving the pendulum, just not the way you're saying I am. So,
Yeah, I think sometimes things what cards help me do is, like Shan says she picks it up as a feeling. I pick it up as a kind of a location somewhere and an energy. And sometimes what the cards help me do is, because it's too, Amy, it's too random to be random.
That's right.
It just helps me organize other information and like opens the door. That it's like an organizer sometimes, you know.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, Kitty. That's what the cards do for me too. They kind of organize the energy for me so I can get it clearer, and it kind of just starts the process going. And I also think the cards are used for guidance. They're not used to tell you what to do. At least that's not how I use them. I use them to like feel into the energy and to show you, you know, maybe these are some things you need to look at, or I'm feeling like there's something that's not working in this particular area. But it's never, I don't use them for like, okay, go out and do this. That's not how I use them. Not to say that some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that if they do that. But mine is more to just kind of get, I'm an empath too, like Shannon. I'm a big feeler on that. So it's to kind of get just the feeling of how I can help that person with what they're going through and their energy. And
it's so fascinating. I mean, I've had readings from all of you. I mean, I think we've all kind of intermingled that. And we all do it a different way, and they're all amazing, right? We all get our information differently. I don't use cards. I can put a pen on a piece of paper and words that are not mine come out. And
I love that.
Yeah. So, you know, and it comes through I can't explain how that happens, but it does. And so I just love how each of us can do cards, and it's totally different. My card reading will be different than all of yours, and any kind of reading we do, whether it's mediumship or psychic or whatever, it's fascinating how they're all different and they're all amazing and they're all, you know, real. I mean, it's, you know, we're given, you know, beautiful gifts to share with everyone, and I just love that. I mean, we're all super different on how we get stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that brings up a good point, Shan, is that, you know, if you're out there and you're looking to get a reading from anyone, you know, that kind of thing, it's who you're going to be drawn to, you know, who you're going to resonate with. And if you don't resonate with that person, that's not necessarily mean they don't know what they're doing. It might just be an energy type thing. You know, go and maybe find someone else. And that's one of the reasons why Kitty and I also do those programs. So if you're looking for someone, and we've had Michelle on there and Shan on there and Stephanie on there. So if you're looking for someone, let's just use Michelle for past life, and you can watch that little video and go, oh man, I can feel her energy. I can tune into that. I really like, you know, her approach and just her enthusiasm. And, you know, you can kind of, rather than, you know, Googling, like Kitty said, and get whoever pays the most to get the top of the screen. So, again, it's kind of like finding the person that you resonate with and how they do the readings, you know, because we are so different. All of us are. We're all great readers and channelers. We just don't do it in the same way.
Yeah, Robin just wrote, we all have our own special sauce and learn to
There
love
you go.
it.
That's it.
Yeah,
And it changes over the years too.
Oh, yeah.
It gets finer, and we all go through these ebbs and tides and what we can do and where we are in our life. And
Mine's a cheese sauce.
yours is cheese.
I love cheese.
Me too. Well, you know, on Come Hither with Heather's channel last night, I was live on her channel. She'll be live on Get Spooky next Saturday. But she was asking me, she said that Get Spooky is one of the only channels that she feels we actually have conversations with the spirits. Like, we actually have a full-blown, they answer when I ask the question in most situations. Sometimes they don't want to play nice, which is fine. But she asked me if I felt that some of us have gifts, or that we all have it and can hone it and tweak it. And so I told her, again, I did not feel like I was a medium. I knew I was an empath, but I didn't feel like I could actually channel. But recently I have been. So it is all in how you learn to use your abilities, or learn about what abilities you have and then strengthen them.
And what ones you want to use.
Right.
There is not only is it free will, but kind of by design, if there's something you're not comfortable doing, as we all know, I go on an investigation and I'm in the car.
And we're scaring her in the car.
Yeah, I'm in the car. I'm at the bar waiting for them from the investigation.
She's got a big shirt with a ghost on it and that red arrow through.
They'll all tell you that if something does come through for mediumship for me, what's the first thing I say, Amy? I'm not a medium. I'll give the...
Not a medium. Thanks for the message. Go away.
Thanks. And I will. I'll thank them, and I'll be like, but just so you know, don't be coming to me in the middle of the night. Right. And you can use your gifts the way you're comfortable using them. Just because people talk about these different things doesn't mean you, unless you're really drawn to it, and sometimes we're drawn to the very things that scare us, but yeah. Be listening. No, I'm not. But
I want to hear it.
If you want me to see you come to me in the middle of the day, pull up a chair, not in the middle of the night looking through the window.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important, though, that people, if you're listening to this or listening to it in a replay, and you think, but I don't want to do, I don't want to. Let's say I don't want to feel other people's feel. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can say, nope, that's not one. I think you can develop them, but you don't have to do.
And everyone's born with intuition, and people are fine. They go through their whole life, and they'll say, I don't want to go that far. I use my intuition for just that gut feeling that is this something I should be doing, or something I shouldn't be doing, or something like that, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And other people want to develop it more, which is totally possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And Heather did have a conversation tonight. She got the rods wouldn't work at first, and then she put them down and she picked them back up. And when I left the show, she was having a full-blown conversation with a doll spirit, or a spirit in a doll.
Wow.
That now Werner probably gave away because it's got a spirit in it. But
oh, Kitty, guess what you're getting in the mail?
Though that's not the stuff that scares me. Clowns, all of that stuff. Nope, it's just this. Nope, there's just other stuff that I go. I'll be in the car. So I'll be in the car.
So Robin must have been a fish at some point if she's breathing underwater all the time.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Definitely. This has been a lot of fun.
I'd love for you that are left in the comments to let us know if you like this platform, if you like what we're doing, if you'd like to see more of it. We'd like to do more of it and share experiences, and maybe at some point, possibly bringing guests on as well to tell their story on a certain subject, or, it could be impromptu. You're in the chat and you're like, oh, I had a near-death experience I want to talk about. So we bring you on, that kind of thing. So let us know in the chat if you do like this. And sometimes we will pull cards for people. I know that's popular. And, tonight we're not going to do so because it is kind of getting, we've already been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. So the bugs are around me.
And this is a lot of energy, I'm telling you right
it's
here.
It's a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
And
I'm going to have to ground and probably eat something. Because I'm a Taurus, and that's what helps me ground. So.
And I need to go to sleep because I'm helping a really good friend clean her house that she's selling and move, and I'm exhausted, and there are 5 days of this. So I'm like, okay, I hope I can turn this brain down.
Well, and Kitty had FOMO, fear of missing out, so she wasn't going to miss us for anything.
No, she wasn't. That's why she's got no makeup, There's probably paint in the hair,
And she
and,
lives in California. She's like, "What you all talking about? I still got to eat my dinner."
you know.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We do hope you enjoyed. We're gonna do this more, and stay spooky, stay grounded, stay inspired, and if you want to message
hold the
us,
space.
hold the space.
Yeah,
If you
hold
want to
the space.
message us on some topics you'd like to hear about, we would love to hear that as well. Just
Absolutely.
you know how to get it. Most of you know how to get a hold of us. So let us know. Thank you, everyone. Have a
All
great
right,
rest of
thank
your
you,
weekend.
everyone.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Bye for now.